once more into the breach. Oh, tomorrow's PTE. We'll see what happens. It's the first one day a week PT. Well, will it be any different? I have a feeling no. I have a feeling it's going to be like, we just meet once a week. Not that anything's different. And then the week after that, it's the last Wednesday PT, and we switch to like a Friday. And that could be good. Whoa, good thing for a timer. I was lost in thought. We're talking about, I think it's called Return to Wolfenstein. It was like an older Wolfenstein game, not the most recent ones. Return to Castle Wolfenstein, maybe just Castle Wolfenstein. I think the old games are just called Castle Wolfenstein. I think the new games are just called Wolfenstein. So I think I have it right. We're talking about playing those. Maybe some Fallout. New Vegas? Yes. Not Fallout 3, right? Can't remember. I think it was New Vegas. And then with Cray, we're thinking about some 2016 Doom, which is now starting to sound like it's incredibly old. And I was like, no, it's got to be like 2017 at least, right? Nope. Old game. He threw in Doom Eternal, which is this year's Doom. And it basically like chided him like, did you play the original Doom? And he was like, well, I own it. And they're like, you should play that. And he's like, I guess. So we thought about firing that up. Feels like there's an avalanche of games, not just suggestions of what we're going to record and stuff. A lot of games. It's weird. It's weird to me. Probably just distracted with Go. Taking up time sorting the things you catch. And so like normal free time gets sucked up there. I feel like I have a lot more free time with the PT being limited to one day a week. I want to go into the PT and be like, I want to start doing strength training. God damn it! I feel like the arm is like wants to restore, wants to, it's like aching to do that. Not too many aches and pains in there. Wound looking all right. It's weird that the top looks like all red on the video to me, but it's looking pretty good. Starting to kind of just look like a big weird stretch mark instead of a big weird wound. I'm really working on the chunk right down here near the end though. That is a big piece of scar tissue, and I'm massaging on it every day with the instructions I've been given. Hopefully get that straightened out. I just noticed for the first time that the phone vibrates when the alarm goes off. Yeah, those are a couple of good games. I was always interested in Wolfenstein, but I never got to play it. I have tried 2016 Doom and was like, gosh, this seems kind of hard, but it could be one of those things where the game seems hard until you play it and understand it, which is kind of true of like anything, but it could be that its systems were different enough that it didn't stand out right away as like, this is how you play this. I want to sort of get in and wrap up Scott Pilgrim. That would be good. We should probably do a Generation Zero stream one of these days. We picked up the DLC. I picked up the DLC mostly out of respect for like the game was fun. The game was the right price and it was a fun little game, and the DLC was on sale and stuff. So I was like, I just wanted to like you were a good game. Here, have some more. Be rewarded for your efforts. But we never did any footage of it. I don't think. Um, it was one of those games that was like it was pretty darn fun, but some of the things in it were like perfunctory. Like the difficulty levels were just like, now you take 50% more damage. Now you take double damage. Like, okay. Didn't really strike me as a game where you shouldn't get hit. You can. It turned out kind of, if you just run around, mostly you kind of can avoid everything in the game. Um, that gameplay sometimes bugs me. I don't want to run around avoiding stuff. I want to get in and fight. If you can do something where it's like the avoidance is like a roll mechanic, like Dark Souls, and you do the evasion into position and then you attack, and you're rewarded. You know, and the only times that it takes a while is like certain significant enemies or bosses. Cool, but when like everything in the game is like empty a clip into it and then reload and empty a clip into its weak spot. Hope you didn't miss. Hope you were accurate. And, I think the game also had tiers of identical weaponry, but with more stars. And the more star weaponry was like clearly, like that's. I mean, it was clearly better. So good job. But it meant that when you were playing at the low levels, you were like, I'm just shooting this thing with like 1,000 bullets. And then when you get high level, you're like, I shot it with like 50 bullets. Like, oh, I'm 20 times stronger. Like, what? So, like, good that you're rewarded. Good that the leveling mechanic was there, but it made the beginning of the game feel like a much different game. As I remember running around when we were playing it early on, and I was like, why? Like, you're supposed to sneak through this whole game because there's like more or less infinite enemies. So are you forever sneaking? You know, and the answers I was getting was like, I think so. And I'm like, well, that sounds crazy because it wasn't like it was so story based that you need to avoid all the confrontations and get the story going. There's plenty of story in it, and it was all like voiced. Well, not all, but like enough of it that I would say it's all voiced, like casually. Compared to, I played a little bit of like Super Mario Sunshine with my not Sunshine. God, yeah, I'm going to torture him. Actually, I like Sunshine, but Odyssey with the nephews, and I was really struck by the fact that the game isn't voiced. I know it's on a little cartridge or whatever, but that was. It's not like the game was bad, but it was like, huh. They didn't voice all this stuff. Maybe because it wasn't voiced, they had more dialogue, but I feel like significant events could have been voiced, and then you could drop the voice for incidental dialogue. It was a neat game. They seemed to really like it, but it was also one of those things where they were like, look, you can play it co-op. And then playing co-op was like bad, and they wanted to play together, and they were also like, this co-op is bad. And I was like, yeah, fair. Because when you're playing the hat and Mario, and something comes at you, you can just throw the hat at it because you know. But when you're playing as Mario and the other person's playing as the hat, and they're dinking around on the hat, picking up coins and doing shit because they can just fly, they're not really interested in like coming over and hitting the thing that's coming after you. It's not like Mario can't jump on their head. He's always had that power or whatever. So he could. He wasn't defenseless. It did make me be like, but he used to be able to punch in like Mario 64, punch and kick and stuff. But where's that gone? You know. And I really liked the chunks of the game where it would turn like 2D and you would look like the old Mario Brothers and stuff. That was like, oh, I like that. I like seeing that. I'm throwback, like works on me. Like the nephews know it too. They're like, oh, Unky, look at this, like the old game, like you like. I'm like, oh yeah. I gotta think about getting maybe a capture card for some of that more external gameplay stuff. Getting Elgato or something. Yeah, that's perfect. We've done everything, and let's just keep it short and sweet. And hopefully, we'll have a cooler check in tomorrow with going to PT and see where we are. All right, see you.